Yes, there was probably another pump, and I can tell you now things will move quickly. And what exactly will move quickly and how you can best make an entry here again, because it's important that if it continues to go up, you should possibly have a trading position open so that you can realize profits accordingly. Anyone who was active last night or yesterday evening and then checked their phone this morning, yeah, something's happening. So it was quite nice, definitely. Now let's take a close look at which news is crucial now. What was even the reason for the pump? I don't think it was primarily due to the Fed decision. That was more of a partial reason, but we'll look at all of that together. Plus the crypto trading setup. I would say, let's dive right in. See you after the intro. New now, uptrend VIP trading. Your opportunity to copy the signals of two profit traders for free. They managed to grow an account from $4,000 to $30,000 within 2 months. The results in the group are also impressive. All you need for this is a deposit of $100 into your BingX account. You can find all further information below in the description. Let's start directly with the crypto heat map. That already looks quite appealing. So if we look at this, Bitcoin is just below the 100K mark. That's a psychological value now, I can tell you that. Therefore, a rocket could be launched very quickly now. We'll also take a closer look at this in detail shortly. Is it realistic? Do we perhaps have the 100K today? Feel free to share your opinion in the comments. Ethereum is also rising. XRP as well. Here with nearly 3%. Solana in the plus, Dodge in the plus, ADA in the plus. Of course, the altcoins are also following suit now. But now, for everyone waiting for an altcoin season, friends, that will still take some time. Yes, and who would have thought? Even the fear and greed index has crawled up again. We are now at 53. So once again, close to greed. Yes, what should one say at this point? Whoever bought down here, blah, 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 and sunshine. You know, Warren Buffett said, be greedy when others are fearful. And that's exactly how it is here. It went steeply upwards here. Now it feels like there's a bit of a consolidation phase in the fear and greed index. So I find it hard to imagine that we'll go down again here. More likely we might soon enter this area or the completely overheated area. And at this point, a big thank you for all the clicks, for all the views. Yesterday, 1,600, almost 1,700 views, 155 likes. Will we manage to break the 200 mark today? It would be amazing because this like, which is completely free, doesn't require any time from you. So you can just take a short break now. Exactly, I was waiting for you now. So as I said, jokes aside, give this like quickly and it boosts the algorithm incredibly. If you are possibly watching the first video right now and you're asking, Daniel is nice, but what are you doing here anyway? This is about trading and crypto news, presented honestly, fact-based, transparently, without hype, exactly what you need every day. So if you're interested in that, feel free to leave a free subscription now, plus activate the bell so you don't miss any important information. A warm welcome to all the newcomers. And now, let's continue. Yes, even with the spot ETFs, things are looking positive again. If we look here, yesterday, $142 million flowed in positively. BlackRock has once again made a significant move. And yes, we can only make a prediction now. I can imagine today will be even more intense. For all the altcoin fanatics out there and altcoin hodlers, you're waiting for the altcoin season. I know. But I just want to point out to you now that this is already a pretty positive sign, because we see here, no, not here, here, a growth in Bitcoin dominance. So this is now rapidly moving upwards. Also, this top here has now been sustainably reached, or rather surpassed. Nevertheless, if we look over here now, sure, one could say, yes, maybe around 67%. We see an overheating because there was indeed a pullback here. But where it should really take off would be the magical value that I have marked here for a long time. At around 73%, that's basically the last peak. Then we can talk about overheating, and we can definitely look forward to a big alt season. Before we get to the trading setup, let's briefly go over the reasons for what happened yesterday. So, basically, During the interest rate decision, meaning the announcement, plus the subsequent press conference, the chart was relatively calm. We will take another look at that in TradingView in a moment. But what exactly were the reasons? So, of course, the interest rate decision was crucial as nothing happened initially. That means the interest rates were left as they should be. During the press conference, Paul repeatedly explained, yes, the economy is running, so we're just waiting for now. This is neither a bullish nor a bearish sign. So far, it looks quite good. Yes, Trump won't be too pleased with this for now because he has already said, yes, here, interest rates need to go down. It doesn't look like that for now. And as mentioned, we can now foresee what might happen in the coming weeks and months. But at least the economy is stable, which doesn't initially argue for any interest rate hike. However, we should not only keep an eye on the USA, but perhaps also the Chinese, because the Chinese central bank lowered the key interest rate by 50 basis points, and the main interest rates by 10 basis points on May 7th. That is yesterday. And that is, of course, an effect again. And if we look at it, everyone who is based in the European area might have noticed that strangely, something always happens at night. So there's a pump, there's a dump. Now we've just gotten past the hype pump wave. And therefore one can say, I rather believe that this was almost the main reason why the Bitcoin price shot up. Now we just have to look at this point. Okay, how does the whole thing continue? So are we going to see the 100K now? Is the next thing coming right away? And so on. I would say, let's take a look at the trading chart. I'm deliberately starting now with the 12-hour view on the Bitcoin liquidation heat map because a lot of liquidity has built up here. Of course, logically, many have gone long. And at the same time, we also have a vector candle here, which tends to be retested from time to time. So this doesn't have to happen in the short term, but since so much has built up here, I can definitely imagine that we will retest this price area. Again, either in the short term or longer term. We also see right here yesterday some short positions were liquidated again. So that must have been quite satisfying what was picked up here. Just take a look at what kind of values these are. So there was really something significant that was extracted there. By the way, this is also the reason for me personally, and I'm open and transparent about it. I opened a short trade 2 days ago and initially didn't set a stop loss. Yes, I'm glad that I closed it last night with a loss of just under $20 or something, so it wasn't significantly in the red, because what happened last night, that thing would have blown me out. So I can only give the advice I would currently look for a smart entry. We'll take another look at that together in TradingView in a moment, and I would definitely only go long right now. So trying to play short here is quite dangerous. However, if we zoom out completely, we must not forget that there is still liquidity up here, which could also be picked up in the short term. And then we would be back over the 100K mark. Now, the thing is, at 100K, it's a guaranteed magical threshold, and some will want to realize profits again. So it could get pretty wild with selling, buying, and so on. So yes, we will probably notice quite a bit of volatility there. Now, first a look at the 15-minute view of Bitcoin. So yesterday I drew a few trend lines here indicating where support, etc. would be. Yes, I honestly hope for a pullback there. In the end, the last bottom formed here, meaning from this vector candle, which was briefly retested, and then it went sharply upwards. And there, as I said, if you look at the time, China must have become really active again. And now it gets interesting because we have a vector candle here, we have a vector candle here, and normally it is always retested again, similar to what happened here. Now it becomes interesting at this point. So Uitaitasai will now present the bullish and bearish scenarios, obviously. Personally, I currently don't have any open positions in the account that I manage for someone else, and always show you. The thing is, I could imagine that we might see another retest here for example, into this area, then it goes up again, maybe to here, and then we might see another retest. Yes, accordingly on the vector candles. Maybe it goes here again and then down here. So this is just a possibility. Please don't hold me to it, but it could be like this. And then, of course, the best scenario would be if we see something like this, a nice double bottom here again, and then a move upwards. So this is how it could be imagined. Great. Yes, now we've made it. Of course, with an arrow pointing upwards, but it is quite conceivable that we might see something like this. That means entries. So if you set a limit order, you can, of course, say, yes, okay, maybe it goes down here again, and then directly up. Yes, of course, it can happen. Who knows? No idea. But in the end, it could easily be that we see another retest of these vector candles that we have here. So on the one hand here, on the other hand here, let's be surprised if it will happen that way. Of course, you never know. But as I said, it is quite conceivable. I wouldn't be upset about it because, for example, placing a limit order here or perhaps in this zone is quite conceivable. There was indeed some movement here. So on the one hand, here and here, that could become interesting again, or I wouldn't tend to go all the way down here, maybe into this area, because we had something here. We then had the corresponding movement here, and there was also a lot of trading here. So maybe place another limit order down here with the hope that it will then go nicely back up. And if we see yes, then we are at 97,130. And briefly back to the liquidation heat map. Look, that's exactly in the zone. So it is quite conceivable that something like this will be picked up again. And then the path goes up again. That's my personal forecast. Because if it goes straight up to 100K, then I believe we will see corresponding volatility because many want to sell, buy, and so on. It could also be that we briefly break the 100K and then it goes further down again. No idea, but as I said, it could very well be. You can see a bit of a consolidation phase here as well. Let's be surprised if the forecast turns out to be true. Feel free to write below what you think will happen. Here's another quick look at the 4-hour view. So it's quite exciting. Oh, here Fibonacci, how these lines fit exactly, like where exactly the support was given. Just at this 0.382 level here, how much was clearly briefly undershot, but overall consistently held back here. Well, this line here I drew separately because it was also a strong support that was eventually broken through. But then we had another support line there and it shot up steeply. And now we are just at this value. If we zoom out a bit more here, you'll notice that we are exactly at this threshold. So trading is quite strong here, but then it massively declines again. And that's what I meant. This can happen relatively quickly now. So if this is sustainably broken through, and especially this 100K mark where you can see it's being bought, sold, and so on, there's wild trading going on right now and it gets broken through. Then I personally believe very strongly, Alton, that we can see a new all-time high very, very quickly because it can really happen quite fast here. Things are finally looking good for Ethereum again. So liquidity was nicely picked up here. Some short orders were taken out, but that's quite a spectacular comeback. Yes, there's liquidity down here, but it really looks quite nice. So even if we take a look at the 4-hour chart here, yes, so you can see exactly this staircase pattern again, how the whole thing is progressing. First consolidation here, then it goes up, consolidation, then it goes up. And now we're at a very interesting threshold and we could see if it might continue like this. So that's quite conceivable. I also told you there was relatively little trading here. And just as it went down here, it quickly went back up. And as I said, here is dump 2, which I had marked. That would be the magical value here. So let's see if the consolidation continues here or if it really goes steeply upwards. We must not forget, Ethereum has now launched the update. Maybe that will have a positive impact as well. We can wait and see. But yeah, now definitely here, I'll erase this again so we can see the chart. So this is a clear breakout from the downtrend. And if we apply this here, then we are definitely in an uptrend. So finally, once again, and therefore, yes, this will be quite interesting. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, feel free to leave a free like or boost the algorithm. And of course, you're always welcome to discuss with me and other community members in the comments. In conclusion, if you're wondering and saying, yes, the VIP trading would be awesome. So there's really a lot going on there right now. Just yesterday, we closed a trade with a 50% plus gain. It's just incredible. If you're interested in free trading signals but don't know how to use BingX, then I have a solution for you. I've uploaded an unlisted video here. Feel free to share it. Check it out for yourself. I'm also looking forward to your feedback. Feel free to leave a like there, write a comment, and so on. We'll see each other tomorrow in the next update. Until then, all the best. Bye.